How do you feel this morning, Michelle?
Yeah, not too bad. A bit annoyed it rained as soon as I woke up. But it stopped raining now.
It stopped raining, but it's actually clear skies as well. But it just, every single morning seems to want to rain on us. We lay there in bed and then you hear the raindrops, and it used to be one of my favourite sounds, the sound of rain on a tent. Now it's one of, just fills me with dread. And I think it does it every morning just to tease us. But, oops, a little money spider here. Means we're coming into money. Let's pop him outside. We were just talking about after the walk.
To do. We know what we want to do, but it's whether we can do it.
I'd been out this morning and I'd taken my microfiber towel in the ice cold and completely dried the outside of the tent, so because the skies look so clear, and that allows the tent to dry off, and my hands were freezing. And it's raining again. You could just hear the raindrops, and it would have just about blown dry. The gentle breeze out there would have just about dried the surface of the tent, and it's raining again. I'm telling you, I'm really starting to hate this country. It's so frustrating. This walk has just been one endless rainstorm. So you can see what happens is, on a good morning like this morning, the water starts to evaporate off the outside of the tent. Mainly because I got up and dried it. It's almost like drying with a chamois leather, but it's just a microfiber cloth. And then it rained a bit again. But you can see today, there's a fair bit of blue sky. It's pretty rare for a morning. We've had 2 lots of rain this morning. The ground is very dewy, very wet. It's probably 7 degrees maybe Celsius. And the world's coming to wake. Okay. So the sun is coming up. Which means it'll be a nice brisk walking morning. We're going into Kidderminster, which is not far from here, just a very short, maybe 45-minute walk into Kidderminster. And there are 2 big supermarkets, Sainsbury's and the Tesco's. I think we're going to head to the Tesco's. It's on the same side as the canal. Get some more provisions and then just hard walk again today. So nothing really different there. Unless anything exciting happens, I don't know what to film really. We'll see on the road.
And can you trust that you won't blow away in the wind?
A little dent in the grass, which will recover like breath off a mirror. And Michelle and I are heading in to Kidderminster, if I can get round to her.
I'm sorry.
It's cold.
It is cold this morning. Cold. Sun's gone in behind the clouds.
Chilly, chilly. This is a wintry country, isn't it? It's just, it spends so much of its year feeling wintry and sort of cold. The British are used to it. That's why a lot of them say, oh, I hate warm weather. Really, you really can't stand it in warm weather.
Give me sun.
Give me sunshine every day. You know, that's the way I feel. I've never fully understood the love of the cold, damp British weather, but if you live here you can probably appreciate it. But I think most people, even the ones that live here, would rather be somewhere a little warmer. Watch these swans. They're a brave lot, swans, quite aggressive. Good morning, swanos. Good morning. No attempt to attack me today. No cygnets with them, you see. No babies. So this is Kidderminster. So this is a big Sainsbury's. And we've done our shopping. It's all good. Out back. This is Kidderminster basically. We've got to get back to the canal, which actually is just there. So pretty close. We've stocked up, Michelle. Got ourselves some
We have.
easy, uncookable food. Food that we can eat on the, not on the hoof. We don't tend to eat on the hoof, but we do tend to just stop for 20 minutes, half an hour, don't we?
Yeah.
And now make a U-turn. Now make a U-turn. Look at that beautiful old chimney. Apparently it used to be, the guy was saying it used to be the Brinton's carpets. Back in the 60s. Now I knew Brinton carpets, they were famous. I'm pretty sure they were still in business after the 60s, but I think this place closed. Oh, the old Canada geese are honking away. Noisy. They just flew in next to us and landed, which I didn't get on camera. There's a lot of you about.
You're very noisy this morning.
That gentleman that we just met also wanted to shake our hands. That's nice. Shaking your hands. Oh, the white ones are coming in. Did you see that? They just landed. These big flap. Cut through the Canada geese. Yeah, shaking hands at this time of COVID. What a lovely guy. Respect to people. Respect to that sort of person. They're what hold a country together. Not all the mithery, miserable people that hide in a bush every time you pass them on the canal paths and show that to their children as a way to behave. I used to say that this COVID was just a flu. I refuse to even call it a flu anymore. It's a cold.
You downgraded it.
Downgraded it to a cold. Grow up. Grow up. Well, and thank you to that gentleman. I didn't catch his name. I called out, but he didn't hear me. And he was blind in one eye, but he said he always wanted to do this walk. Lovely. So there's Tesco's, Michelle.
We don't need anything.
We don't. We've done Sainsbury's today. It's remarkable how the canals change from country, you know, from way out in the sticks to cities and large towns. I think this is a large town now. And so you have a mixture of apartment blocks and commercial and often very tidy pathways when you get into the town. Compare that to the bog and mud of the narrow pathways out in the country. But these canals, they run for miles upon miles, many hundreds of miles, and they're a pleasure to walk along. I highly recommend them. And quite beautiful. Some people have said to me canal walking can be boring compared to walking out in the country, but I think you get both the country, the history, the engineering, and not to forget the people you meet along the canals, which you rarely get to see if you're out in the sticks. And the sort of head bending you have to do to get under these little bridges. So this is Kidderminster, one of the many large towns or cities perhaps that we pass through on the way down to the south of England and down to Land's End. Dignity. Great boat names as well along these canals. Here's some more of these magnet fishers. How's your magneting going?
Not very well.
No? Not pulling anything good out?
Not yet.
What do you hope to find? Do you mind me videoing?
That's fine.
Yeah? What do you hope to find?
Anything really?
Yeah? No, just a nail or a bit of something. So this down here is the River Severn, and this is oh, hang on, yes, Michelle's right. This down here is the River Stour, and this is the Staffordshire and Worcester Canal.
Yeah.
So you see the difference. There's often a river next to the canal for the runoff from the weirs, but look at this one. It's a beauty. Look Look at the red sandstone. Well, is it sandstone? The red stone here. Let's have a little look at the runoff. Oh, you're going to do the gates, are you? So here we go. This one's running off into the Stour. So when the water, the backup of the water coming down the canal gets overly high, it'll run down the sluices into this sort of weir section and down into the river. So you see here they're working on the viaduct. I think it's a viaduct, it could be an aqueduct. Can't tell from here. But they've got all these big nets up there to stop things dropping or people dropping. Or safety nets. There are some guys and carabiners hanging up there on the side. That's kind of cool. It's a big bridge or duct of some sort. Would have had the name just up here. Is it an aqueduct or a viaduct?
Viaduct.
All right, cheers, man. Do you know the name?
Falling Sands.
Falling
Sands.
Falling Sands Viaduct. Cheers, man.
Where are you going on down the country?
Land's End, John O'Groat's Land's End. So I think today, I'm pretty sure that today is the day we leave this canal and go on to the Severn River. There's more canals ahead of us, but I think Stourport upon Severn is where we have to do a little bit of off-water walking through the town to get to another waterway. Good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
We're in a little, the pub's not open, it's morning time, but we're using their little facilities to have a morning brew. And they're just getting a delivery of Hobson's beer. So I hope you see this, Pam. Hobson's beers, how cool. Wrong way. We've got to go up. Oh, hello. Oh, that's rather beautiful. There's a funeral with a beautiful horse and cart. And rather beautiful lot of vehicles.
Famous, aren't they?
Oh. Wow.
I don't know how many of them cars are still in.
I think a lot of them are. They're all cleaned up, like they're ready to. Makes me think it's.
Things are definitely important.
No, I think it's, well, yes, important. I think it's travellers. I think it's, yeah, looking at the horse and cart and the thing, it looks like a traveller's funeral.
Oh, did you see the first fancy cars?
So the Canals and River Trust, they have these toilets, disabled toilets, shower rooms and laundry rooms for users of the canal. So this is a hot shower. You can get a 20-minute free hot shower. We don't need it today. We've you know, we had a hotel a few days back, so we're not really too bothered. But really nice bathrooms, good facilities. We've come down the darkest little alley because the GPS brought us, and we could have just come down this path here. Now we're on the River Severn.
Stop and breathe, listen to the birds and watch the damsel flies. The canal wasn't always this peaceful haven. It used to be full of huge wooden sailing ships called Severn Trowels, scrambling to and from the river through the special wide barge locks in Stourport.
But is this a canal then, or a river? It's a river. So, but I think it connects with the canal, so canal boats possibly go along this River Severn. We'll find out very shortly, I'm sure. But it's a lot wider than the canal, as you can see straight away. I'm a little wary about how much of the path along the River Severn is accessible all the way down to Gloucester now. So it looks on my map as if it sort of jumps in and out of towns and villages a little bit, but that could be just the GPS, sort of the way it's calculated the routes. If we can, we want to stay on this towpath on the River Severn all the way down to Gloucester. So there you go, the River Severn, fast flowing river, a lot wider than the canals. And I'm guessing this is the River Stour maybe that seemed to come alongside. Was it the Stour we followed down?
Yep.
This could be it here, maybe the Stour.
Maybe, yeah.
Joining Severn.
Just go straight.
Okay. Oh, I do hope the GPS is not going to be talking to us, like sort of accompanying us for the next.
Now continue straight.
Here we go.
On Severn Way.
Oh, on the Severn Way. So it's one of these. This
That
one, this one, or this
that
one. Not sure. I will have a look at the GPS. I don't want it nagging me. It can get a little naggy. There's some interesting little diversions through the odd boatyard. Over the Blue Bridge, he said. So. And yeah, I think river walking is going to be quite a bit different to canal walking, moderately different anyway. This is a interesting collection of old cars and new cars. Look, there's an old scimitar there. Wow, haven't seen one of those for many years. Over the Blue Bridge.
What's the Blue Bridge?
Oh, I don't know.
Blue Gate.
Got a blue gate and something else going on. G'day.
Alright.
You walking down the Severn Way or? Oh, there's the...
Not really.
No. I'm a bit preempting it by saying getting to Gloucester. So this is the Blue Bridge. I think Worcester is next before Gloucester. Although maybe we don't actually go through Worcester. Actually, no, I think we skip Worcester, Michelle. I think Gloucester is next, isn't it? Yes. Got my geography right. Anyway, we're on the Severn Way. It's been confirmed. And there are canal boats on this river, but there are a lot more river boats. Bigger body boats, wider, probably more draft. And it's quite a different lifestyle. These are apples being delivered to this cider. So it's a cider making facility. Cider making alongside the River Severn. Really lovely smell of apples. Apple juice, isn't there, Michelle?
Smells good.
Yeah, it smells good. So that's the first cider factory we've been past, or cider producer. I mean, look at the amount of apples in the back of that truck. Absolutely tons upon tons of apples, all going up the conveyor belts to be pressed and produced into some fine English cider, no doubt. I'm guessing it's a good cider. Hello there. Oh, you are beautiful. You're a bit of a cob, aren't you? Young girl, young boy. There's a couple of lovely cob ponies. Some guys fishing the river. Oh, the weather's turning cold again, as it constantly does in this country. Well, I won't even say it. Well, here's something I wasn't particularly expecting on the River Severn. Locks. I didn't realise that there would be locks on the river. I tend to think of them being... Hello, fella. Lincoln Lock. Proceed with caution. Falling water levels. Condition normal. So yeah, I was expecting not to see locks on the river, but there clearly are. Strictly private though, quite different. The Severn Way. Walks of Worcestershire. Worcestershire, as in the sauce. Worcester, as in the city. Worcestershire, Worcester. Anyway, the lockkeeper said it gets a bit gnarly on this path at times. We said, what do you mean? He said, oh, you'll see. He didn't want to frighten us off. But he also said there are caves along this pathway, and we'd be welcome to, you know, stay in a cave. He said there's a lad that lives up in one of the caves, and he's lived there a couple of years now. And interesting. So up here somewhere, in these rocks, there is a troglodyte living, having an alternate lifestyle in a cave, which is kind of cool. He comes down to the locks. He's obviously got, ooh, this is a bit nasty, a bit gnarly. Hopefully this is all he means. Gotta watch you don't slide down these ones into the river. Anyway, so yeah, apparently he comes down to the lock to get his water and things. He's obviously got a lock key, a Canals and River key, and he lives somewhere up in these hills. It is a bit gnarly, a bit nasty, a bit ugly. This is not as pleasant. Actually, this is as bad as it's been for a long time for us. None of the canals were like this, although some of them were a bit nasty in spots, but not like that. Just hope that's as bad as it gets.
A bit slippy, that's the problem.
A bit slippy the wrong way, slipping down into the Severn. So he said there's a couple of places. I hope that's all he means, Michelle.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it might mean falling away.
Let me just straighten your sign out.
Spread out.
Got to keep the flag flying. Yeah. On you go.
Look at the water.
Water looks a bit mucky. So yes, the Severn Way.
Nice.
Oh Lord.
Lovely.
Can't say I'm ever too enamoured by anything in the United Kingdom with the word way written in it. The Pennine Way, the Great Glen Way, the Severn Way. There. So, and nothing particularly spectacular about the way. I'm going to have to push Michelle up that one. It's a bit steep. So all along this section of the river, there are these sort of static homes, caravan type homes, and they all seem to have a bit of a mooring, but the Severn Way also seems to go through their waterfront. I think these white posts mark the Severn Way, and there's some beautiful camping spots should we need them. I'm not sure if we'd be welcome, but most of these static homes look empty. There's certainly a fair few of them are not lived in.
I think.
I think so. It's hard to pick your spot, isn't it? So some even little caravans like this, slightly grander static homes. And yeah, the Severn Way is sort of marked. Hello, Pusscat. Sort of marked. Well, it is marked. And it's quite well marked, but you get sections where you've just got to try and pick your way to the next marker. For example, should we be down there or along here? I suspect it doesn't really matter. Maybe it does. Who knows? Now you see we're meant to be up here. That one ends down there. That's a little jetty. So we're on the right spot. See, that one there is very grand. People are definitely living there. And then there are other ones that look as if they haven't been lived in for a long time. Still, I suspect they are lived in. They just look a bit uncared for. But that can happen, you know, in this harsh grey climate where 8 months of the year it's winter. So we've just come out of Stourport, and there's a field next to this one as big as this one is here, and it's all sort of steeple jumps for horses. It's huge. I mean, it goes way over there. There must be over 100 jumps. And for some reason, every single house and along the waterfront is a static home, like a mobile home. I'm wondering if this is a big sort of established gypsy community. Not sure, you know. There was a big gypsy wedding in the town. Huge
gypsy funeral.
Sorry, Michelle. You're right. It was a gypsy funeral in the town just now, and it went on. The procession went on for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes of vehicles behind a horse-drawn carriage and coffin. So I just wonder, look, it's huge. The Severn Way. So look it up, just outside, just south of Stourport. What is this big static home community that's here? There's obviously a lot of money here as well. I'm wondering if the funeral wasn't on, whether there'd be a lot more people around. Wow, this would be a perfect spot for the night. Beautiful little camping area, but it's way too early. I think it's only about 3 o'clock, but not so early. But I think we'll walk on. There's been some good spots along the river, but the sun has completely gone out of the sky by 5:30. So very short days indeed. What a lovely little piece of common ground. It's a nice spot, Michelle. It's a wobbly stile. They're funny little stiles. Just show the dog friendly.
Yes, this is quite good.
This is for dogs to go through.
Because it was on the Pennine way, there wasn't any, was there?
No.
Stone stile.
And the guy said he had to carry his dog over several times. It was not nice, he said, because the dog was, you know, struggling to get over the stiles. So that's kind of cool. But what's not so cool is the Severn Way itself. Well, actually here it's quite pretty, but it'll soon turn to bog and mud and sections where you'll slip and fall into the river where it's caved in. Anyway, we'll have a little look. Oh. And a lot of nettles, it's overgrown in many parts. Not nettles here, but see, that's very close to the edge, and then you slip and you're down in the river. Woo, like that. And people are living just on the edge here as well. Very interesting. And a staircase to absolutely nothing. So these lads are coming from somewhere, and they're camping and fishing. So that's cool. G'day guys. Nice little fishing spot, eh?
Alright, good.
How do you get in? How do you bring your cars in from there then? Out that way, is it? So here's the Lock Cottage, and this is Holt Fleet Lock. Holt Fleet Lock. So there are more than one lock. There's actually, the last lockkeeper did tell me there were 2 or 3 locks on the river down to Worcester. But these locks are different. They're actually run and controlled by a lockkeeper. So Holt Lock is actually, you know, you can't go in and operate it yourself, it would seem. You need the lockkeeper to operate the gates. It's kind of cool. They're much bigger locks than what you see on the canals. They'd be harder to handle. Holt Lock. Been there, done that. Hopefully the road will be less muddy in Worcester, hey?
And we can have a little rest.
And I don't think Dr. Foster went to Worcester.
No.
He did not. But we went to Worcester in a part of rain, in a shower of rain. We stepped in many puddles right up to our middle. And I doubt we'll ever come here again. Gloucester's next, by the way.